Hi, my name's Rose Kimberley. I'm a singer, songwriter and singing teacher, and I'm here for I Sing magazine today to talk about home studio recording. Now this is useful for everything I do. I'm a complete novice, never done it before, so we're going to go on a bit of a journey together to figure out what the equipment and the skills that are required in order to be able to record at home. So I look forward to sharing it with you. So today we are going to talk about equipment. I am here with Clive Cherry, who's a studio engineer, and he's going to help me decide what things I need to buy in order to get started. So first, if I can introduce Clive Cherry, and can you tell us a little bit about what you've done and your background?
I'm a retired musician, and I'm in a position now where musicians come and see me, which is definitely preferable to me going to see them.
Yeah.
And my studio is set up fixed.
Mm-hmm.
You want to set up a studio that is not fixed, that
Yeah.
goes with you, which is a completely different thing to this.
Yeah, absolutely. So as a singer, the basic things that I'd need to get started, what sort of equipment am I looking at?
I'm hoping that you have got a computer, and
Yeah.
as you're a singer, you've probably got a microphone.
Yeah.
What we need to look at is how to link the two,
Mm-hmm.
and which roads to go down
Mm-hmm.
to save money and to achieve the things we want to achieve, which is make demos, swap files with other musicians, and generally do the things that are costly to do in a big studio, and prepare yourself for when you arrive in a big studio.
Yeah, because there's obviously a fine line, isn't there, between having an amateur sound set up and having a professional sound, which as a working singer, you know, we want to make sure that we have a professional sound. So is there sort of equipment you need to be aware of that is better than others?
There definitely is good equipment and bad equipment, but at this stage of the game, you have to get the equipment that suits your need. It's no good buying a very expensive microphone if you've got a very cheap interface.
Right.
There'll always be a bottleneck. So I suggest that starting small and focusing on the need is what you need to do. Probably you've already got a computer, probably you've already got a microphone.
Yeah.
You need to concentrate on what piece of equipment will suit those things. It's no good getting top-end equipment when the rest of it doesn't fit.
No. Exactly. If we were to do a bit of a checklist, what would we start with?
The most important piece of gear in a big studio like this, or a medium-sized studio like this, and your home studio, is the microphone. It's the link between the analog and the digital, if you like.
Right.
So buying a microphone, if you haven't got one, isn't going to break the bank. You can get a really good microphone for 75 quid.
Right.
You can buy a really expensive one for £7,000, but I wouldn't recommend it.
Okay.
So you've got to start with a microphone and start with a computer that will run the program that you like.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
If you have a Mac, then I suggest using Logic. If you have a PC, then there are many programs you can use that are not specific. Just use the program that you're comfortable with, because remember, you're the musician, not the engineer.
Yeah, sure. So what would you say is very user-friendly for someone that's starting out with a home studio in terms of programs?
It's difficult, that one, because the programs themselves are a steep learning curve, all of them, and I think that you have got to bite the bullet and pick the one that's either the cheapest or the one that you like the most, or your friends are using, because you're going to interchange files.
Right.
That's a good one. Use whatever your friends are using.
Yeah. So, I mean, the ones that I'm aware of, and the one that I've currently got on my computer is Logic. And I know I'm aware of Pro Tools, which is what you use, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. There's also Reaper, isn't there?
Reaper is a very good one because of the cost. It's very low cost. It's very fast. Steep learning curve, but worth it.
Right.
And it's new. So you don't have people like myself who will be Pro Tools biased and people who are younger who are Logic biased.
Yeah.
It's a bit of both.
Okay.
I think it's probably the cheapest good way to go.
Software, yeah. Okay. And can you use that on Mac and on
Yes,
PC?
Mac and PC. You can download it off the net in minutes and load it on in minutes.
Wow.
But it'll take you weeks to get the hang of it.
Okay.
But it's worth it.
Yeah.
It'll take you weeks or months to get the hang of the others anyway. So it's something you have to do.
Yeah. Do people use Cubase still?
Cubase is still very popular. They're all popular, but because people use one program and get very attached to it. I'm attached to Pro Tools. It drives me crazy, but I like it.
Yeah, yeah.
And people stick with what they know. They don't want to learn all sorts of different programs.
No.
Use one, get to know it, and make sure your buddies are using it as well.
Yeah.
That's where Logic comes in. A lot of people use Logic because a lot of people have got Apple Macs.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Cool. So, so that's sort of the computer and the software that we need. We need a microphone. Have we got any examples actually of microphones that we can have a quick look at?
I've got I'll show you the microphone that is the most useful microphone that anybody would ever want, and it's probably the cheapest good microphone. It looks like that. It's called an SM57, and it's made by Shure.
Right.
And it's good for vocals, it's good for instruments, it's a general great mic for very little amount of money.
Cool.
Its brother is that one, which is the SM58, which is practically the same mic. So one of these two will do for pretty much everything you need at an early stage. If you've got a lot of money, you can buy a condenser mic like this. And the quality is better, but it's a case of diminishing returns. This is a studio microphone. If you can afford it, I would suggest you get it, but these will do.
So the Shure, the SM58 is generally speaking, that's a live microphone, isn't it?
Yes, it's also good in studios.
It's good in studios.
It's a very good all-rounder.
Okay.
That's why it's value for money.
Yeah.
This one you wouldn't want to take it out on the road.
No. And what's sort of the difference between the two then ultimately?
Technically, it's further down the line. At this stage of the game, I wouldn't worry about it. Okay. That's why I personally would go for that one.
Right. Okay. There we go. Thanks.
There are many things that are more important.
Yeah. Great. Okay. So that's kind of microphones. So the next thing then, interfaces.
Interfaces.
What are they? What do they do?
You've got to link your microphone to the computer somehow. Something's got to convert it into computer language, into the digital world. And there are thousands of them about.
Okay.
All personal preferences, and you do get what you pay for. If you buy an Apogee, you'll pay a lot of money and get a very good quality. If you buy... I won't name names because that's unfair, but the cheaper they are, you do get what you pay for.
Okay.
But buy something that you need. If you only need one microphone input, it won't cost you a lot of money.
Right.
If you think that you're going to need two,
which presumably would be if you're doing, say, an acoustic guitar as well. Yeah.
Anything in stereo.
Yeah.
Then you would use two, and stop there, because if you need more than two, you are then talking about going on to the next level.
Right.
And now that you've got to talk about whether it's USB or Firewire.
Right.
Or whatever the new thing is, Thunderbolt.
Right, okay. I've got no idea what Thunderbolt is. What's that?
It's so new, I don't know. But there's always something new coming in. Be aware that anything digital you buy will be worthless tomorrow.
Yeah.
So do buy what you need, use it till you don't need it anymore, and then sell it quickly, because you won't be able to give it away in a year's time.
Right. Okay.
If you buy anything analog, it'll hold its price.
So interfaces, they kind of look like small little boxes, don't they?
Yes. Interfaces also need to be portable.
Yeah.
Because one of the ideas that you're doing here is being able to go round to your mate's place and record him doing such and such in a comfortable environment. So you don't want to be carting truckloads of gear.
Yeah, true.
Something can fit in your pocket,
Yeah.
just
yeah.
like one of these.
Yeah, true. Okay, so is there anything else that we need for our home studio?
I think that the thing we've left out is you need a good set of headphones that are like head clamps that
Right.
close the sound in so that it doesn't leak out, and also shuts off sounds coming from outside. So
Okay.
big headphones.
So they're the nice big ones.
Yes,
Yeah.
not your modern little things. They're no good at all.
Okay. So headphones is added to the list. Okay, so we've got our computer, we've got our software, we've got our microphone, and we've got our interface. What's next?
There are a few things that I think that are necessary, like mic stands, leads,
Yep.
and particularly a microphone shield. I'll show you one if
Yep.
you give me 1 second.
Okay.
This piece of equipment takes the studio to wherever you're going to go. It's
Okay.
your microphone holder.
Mhm.
You put your mic here, and
Yep.
it can transform any room into a nice sounding room.
Okay.
And I thoroughly recommend them because they're very small, easy to carry, easier than carrying a nice soundproof room around with you.
Yeah. Of course. Yeah.
And
Okay.
it'll fit on your mic stand.
Right. Great.
So other than that, I think you're pretty well equipped to do anything else. Hopefully your program will have enough MIDI information to do the drums, strings,
Yeah.
and all else that you need. Everything
Mhm.
else, one microphone will do it at one source at a time.
Yeah. Okay. So with the sort of recording through the MIDI channel, so we kind of need a keyboard for that. Is that right?
You do. I think
Yeah.
you need a keyboard, whether you've got a very small one, which
Mhm.
is 1 octave or so, which is awkward,
Mm.
which is fine for a non-keyboard player.
Yeah. Right.
But for a keyboard player, he's, again, just like a guitarist is going to have his own guitar, a keyboard player is definitely going to have his own 88-note, fully
Yeah.
weighted keyboard.
Yeah. Sure. Okay.
So a singer doesn't need it, but the singer's keyboard player definitely does.
Yeah. Okay.
If you're not a keyboard player, you can get away with a small fit just in front of your computer, 1 octave,
Yeah.
press with 1 finger.
Yeah. 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 And that will just allow you presumably to create beats,
To lay tracks down,
and to lay
yes,
them down,
yes.
and to be able to put some strings on stuff, maybe for songwriting, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
Cool. Okay. Great.
just a tool.
Just a tool. Yeah, exactly. All right. So it's important if you, do you have a normal keyboard though, that it's got a MIDI connection
It'd have to have a MIDI
Yeah.
connection,
in order to
definitely.
go in.
Yeah, MIDI is still relevant
Okay.
in this digital age.
Right. Great. So is there anything else that we need?
I think that's it.
Okay.
Anything other than you need, you're on the journey of from the thin end of the wedge to bankruptcy.
We don't want that. That's for certain. Don't forget your stripy t-shirt. It's that's imperative as well. I think that's it, isn't
Okay.
it? So that's all we need, and we're going to be back with all this equipment. I'm going to have to save up next time, and Clive's going to help me set it up. Okay, so here is a checklist then for everything we need for a home studio. We need a computer, we need recording software, we need a mic stand and a mic, we need an interface, we need a keyboard with a MIDI connection, a good set of headphones, some microphone leads, and a vocal shield. So I'm going to have all of this equipment ready for next session, and Clive will come and help me put it all together. So be sure to tune in next time to iSing Magazine so that we can learn how to do it together. See you then.